How you doing? Who I am is not important, but what I have to say is important. Today is our first class, and to start, I thought it'd be a good idea to start on the most basic health, physical health. Now, the reason I say physical health is the most basic of health is because with physical health, we can observe factual information with all of our senses rather than just one or two. Now, before we even start, I'd like to clarify the human anatomy, just to clear things up for some people who may be confused about the human anatomy, by stating that the human anatomy consists of two sexes, male and female. Now, oftentimes, these two sexes may perhaps get confused. Now, the reason due to that is because of the definitions of male and female versus the definitions of masculinity and femininity. Now, to start, I'd like to clarify that male and female, the difference between the two has to do with their sexual reproductive organs. Now, these sexual reproductive organs determines their functions when it comes to reproducing. Now, males have penises and testicles, which produce sperm, and females have vaginas, which produce eggs, and they also have breasts, which produces breast milk. There are also other physical differences between the two sexes, but I want to clarify the definitions of masculinity and femininity first. Whereas the definitions of masculinity and femininity are the perception of a man and a female. Oftentimes, this is where the misconceptions are contrived from, because the perceptions of a man and what a woman should be tend to be debated amongst most for the social hierarchy. Now, I'll cover that in the social health video, but I just wanted to clear that up because the only two sexes in existence are male and female, and I know some people may not understand that and may get the two terms confused. Another physical difference that you can determine between the two is their DNA strands, specifically their chromosomes, as females have XX chromosomes in every single one of their cells, and males have XY chromosomes in every single one of their cells. Now, I will go into further topic on next week's video talking about sexual education in regards to any confusions when it comes to the sexual organs. But right now, I want to focus on the physical aspects and the physical health, specifically when it comes to nutrients of the body. So to start, I'm going to pull up a prompt, and out of these three options, you're going to tell me which you believe to be the most healthiest. Is it going to be prompt A, prompt B, or prompt C? If you picked prompt B, you'd be correct. The reason that this is the healthiest option of the three is because when your muscles are bigger and they're stronger, it is capable of taking more physical damage, whether it be from bumping your arm into the wall, or whether it be through disease, which would eat away at your blood cells. Now, to understand that, we have to briefly talk about the aging process. You see, the older our bodies get, the more over that duration of time our bodies take damage, physical damage. And the more our red blood cells die, the more something else in our body, known as stem cells, have to replace those red blood cells to keep us healthy and to keep us going. Unfortunately, we only have a certain amount of stem cells in our bodies to where when we get to a certain age, stem cells start to become more and more limited, and of course that would eventually lead to natural causes of death, such as diseases or physical damage that would kill us a lot quicker than it would if we were younger. Obviously, however, that's not to say that stem cells can't be created. However, that's to say that the more that your body is weak and unhealthy, the easier it is for your body to die. This is why it is important to make sure that your body is in a good physical state, because the stronger that your body is, the longer you will live, and the easier it will be to do a lot more things that you may not have been able to do if you were unhealthy. This is due to the fact that you have more energy and you have a lot more strength in your body to be able to function mundane tasks or very tough objectives. Various healthy methods that you can do to stay in shape and to be a lot healthier physically. It includes lifting weights, doing cardio, and a couple of other physical tasks that can keep your muscles moving and keep your blood flowing. Now, remember earlier when I mentioned that males and females also have physical differences? Well, one of those physical differences includes muscular build. You see, males have a bigger muscular build than females, and the reason this is because males have a hormone called testosterone. Testosterone is a hormone in their testicles that helps produce semen, and it also influences muscular build and dopamine. This also explains why males and females don't usually face each other in competition, due to the fact that males usually have a bigger build than females, and they separate the two between them. And if you are a female going into competition with a male, you must be aware of the risks that you might take. Now, it is possible for a female to be physically built bigger than a man. It's just that that requires a lot of work and exercise and cardio, which is why I'm mentioning it right now. Alternatively, some people have utilized drugs, albeit I do not recommend it, as an overuse of drugs can cause your systems to fail, and you should only take drugs prescribed to you by your doctors to make sure that this doesn't happen to you and you don't die a very painful, terrible death. Also, you can make your body stronger by eating healthy. What you see here is a list of nutrients and other healthy foods that'd be good for your body. Now, something to note about these foods here is that every single one of these foods, if not most of them, come from something living. And that is because that we, as organisms, consume other living organisms in order to produce our energy. You see, other living organisms also have energy, and when we consume them, we absorb their energy and their nutrients into our body to stay healthy and to stay active. Both animals and plants provide to us various different things that we can eat to be in the best shape that we can be in. Of course, this could potentially lead to some controversial debates regarding some moral codes of certain individuals. Now, some people have the moral code and the moral belief that they should not kill anything living, regardless if it's animal, plant, human, none of that. Some other people lay it back a bit and allow themselves to eat plants but not animals, because they have the relations of animals to us as people in the fact that we are both living and that we are organisms that can go along our way and do whatever we want. Whilst it is entirely subjective to the opinion of the individuals in question and the moral codes that they have, it is also important to note that the lifestyle does indeed come with a possible risk, potentially the risk of not having enough healthy foods to eat to make yourself very strong and very capable of living long years. But if you're not willing to take that risk, I suggest not doing so. But it's all up to you at the end of the day. Another important thing to consume is water, because our body is made up of water, and so we utilize water to quench our thirst of dehydration, and it is the most healthy drink for us to consume. Now, earlier I mentioned stem cells, and I want to get back to that really quickly. Now, stem cells are cells that have the capability of becoming a specific type of cell, depending on the cell that has a lack of in that body part. And that stem cell can become that cell to replace it in case there is not enough cells in that body part specifically. As of today, scientists are finding more and more ways to utilize stem cells to help us, so it is very possible that in years from now we could live even longer, live even healthier, or even find the key to immortality. It is a possibility. However, that concludes today's lesson. I did say it was going to be very simplistic, and it turned out to be very short of a lesson today. Next week, I'm going to be talking all about sexual education, how babies are made, how babies are created, all about the sexual preferences, and everything in between. It's going to be a much longer video than this one, so if you're ready for it, if you're here for it, I'll be there, and I'll see you next week.